Hey guys, I'm going to talk about the failure of Brokemon today. It's going to be a long one. I'll be probably ranting a lot, and it is the end of the workday. So yeah, I've seen like 14 patients already today. But yeah, I'm still waiting for one more. For those who are interested, you can stick around. It's gonna be probably a 20-minute video or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of speak about the beginnings, how it actually started, what happened, why it failed. But yeah, so these will be the three main things. So essentially, how I started Pokemon, in 2022 September, I kind of restarted, I guess, my Pokemon journey. I bought the 25th anniversary. I guess it's the first partners pack or something, the one with the jumbo cards. Yeah, so I bought that kind of for my birthday, and yeah, I restarted my journey from there. Um, it was really nice, but I was thinking also, how can I actually sustain this hobby if I were to buy a lot more? Because I was buying a lot at the point. We were talking about like Lost Origins booster boxes, and at the time, it was like 179 per booster box, 169 per booster box. And then we were talking about Chilling Rain booster boxes, Shining Fates, ETBs, those kind of things. Yeah, we were buying quite a lot of that. So I was thinking, how can I actually sustain it? And then, it just occurred to me like, maybe there are auctions, maybe there are um, places where you do sales and stuff, and I kind of chanced upon a few groups, joined them, auctioning off quite a few things, and yeah, I kind of made up my name from there, and everybody sort of knew me because I was auctioning off quite a lot of things. Almost daily, I was auctioning off three things or something like that. Made a name for myself, joined up with groups, did streams with them, kind of did a lot more streams, I guess, and then people sort of knew me from there. Um, but yeah, so that's how my journey actually started. And then I was thinking, you know what? Since I have all this context already, maybe what I can do is to build a group, and then start my own thing, start to sell things and stuff. And I was looking at Pokemon businesses and all that, how they actually did things, and eventually I got into the Japanese booster boxes and stuff. So found my supplier and all that, and made my group, and things were pretty good. Things were pretty good. Started my group in, I believe, April 2023 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, something like that. Yeah, so started a group. Things were going very well at the start. We had many kind of orders, definitely a lot more than what I could handle. Um, but yeah, so that is one of the things. It was a lot more than what I could handle, and there was a lot of stress. I was working a lot while studying. Essentially, a 24-hour thing where even when before bed, I'll be messaging people. Even in the middle of the night, I'll be messaging people, trying to get orders sorted, trying to get the cash and everything sorted nicely. So yeah, trying to be competitive in the field as well. So that was a very, very stressful time. Yeah, so it kind of affected me in a bit where um, I kind of failed one of my exams. Yeah, because I was studying at the time, studying physiotherapy, and yeah, I kind of failed one of my exams because of this. Because there were so many orders. Like, if I remember correctly, I was shipping in nearly 1,151 boxes at that point in time. It was something crazy like that. So every time there would be like a huge stack of like cardboard boxes, all from my supplier. And at that point in time, I didn't think much about it. It was like, okay, get shipments in, pack it, get it out. Um, Constantly going about day to day like that. And things, were going well. I expanded. I tried to branch out into different things, not just Pokemon, looking into, One Piece, looking into like Dragon Ball, Unit Arena, and all that stuff. Try to branch out a little bit more, get a bit more context out in the field. So yeah, And then I had the website, and things were okay when I had the website. I was trying to run promotions, trying to get point systems, people abusing the system like with the points and all that, putting multiple orders under the same name and then spamming the points redemption and stuff like that. So things like that on the background I had to sort out. But yeah, so then came uh, one of the promotions that I think this was the breaking point, because at that time 151 was really really popular, and things were things were actually going down for 151. Like the trend went down. So if you remember at that point, at that around the 2024 region, um, prices of Pokemon were going down because of Scarlet and Violet. That era kind of pushed things down, and then 151 went up like crazy, and then it dropped. So it went to the point where it was 100, under 100 Aussie per box. So under 100 Aussie, everybody was kind of competing, trying to undercut each other, trying to get most of the cut, most of the customers to them. And I was doing the same. I was done. So I was trying to undercut everyone, and at that point in time, I was not a registered business, so I didn't have to pay GST. I was not collecting GST as well. Yeah, so I could actually undercut a lot of people, and there were businesses who were not happy about it, kind of reaching out to me, telling me all these kind of things. And yeah, that's a separate story. I won't talk about that. But yeah, and there were people attacking me, some racism and all that stuff. But yeah, those are things for another time. But okay, so back to it. I was trying to promote the new prices for 151, starting to keep track of it, and there was this point in time where it was the breaking point where, okay, the supplier said I can get them at a relatively good price, and I made my promotion after confirming everything was solid, and as a business, I should have done my part in, like, securing the orders first, getting all the boxes first, and then um, trying to sell the ones that I have on hand. But I did not do that. I was kind of dumb. So what happened was, I promised everyone that I could get it at $69 each, and that was like the lowest in the market. That was insane. Yeah, so the amount of orders that flooded in was just way over what I could handle. And I told my supplier on the same day, while the orders were coming in, how many orders I have. So then he kind of be like, we won't be doing your orders. We won't be able to do it at that price because it changed. And that kind of screwed me over. So I was not able to handle all the orders. I had to tell people that, I wasn't able to fulfill them, even though I promised that price, because I would be taking a huge loss that would eventually kind of bankrupt me, I would say. Um, was not working at that time. I'm not able to work because of my scholarship point. So yeah. Um, so one thing that happened when I said that I couldn't fulfill the orders, there was a lot of hate. Definitely a lot of hate. There was one comment that was like, I think this was the one that kind of affected me the most, saying that he is disappointed in my services, and I thought of him as like a friend, Yeah, so that was not the nicest thing. Yeah, so that kind of affected me, and that whole saga kind of was the start of the downhill phase. So I started to be like, you know what, maybe this isn't very worth it, with all the hate and all that, and then kind of just trying things out here and there, trying to get things to be a bit better. Um, there were times where I tried to do a little bit more than the rest, like do a little bit more streams. There were times where I totally kind of like hands off and let my then moderator and friend help me out with things. She's still a very very nice friend right now, still a moderator as well, but she has her own business side. So yeah, yeah, I was trying my best to kind of like try to get things sorted and get everything back in control, but it was too out of hand, so I didn't get anything in control. And then time passed, I started to drift away, um, not trying to do this as much as I can, because I had my placements and stuff like that. And then, yeah, things started to just like go downhill. Orders started to go down, from 10, 20 orders per week to 5 to 0. Yeah, so it went down very, very fast. Um, didn't have any cash, and then I got hit with a very large import tax. That was a fine. So essentially everything from 2022 or even 2021, when I was just bringing in stuff for myself. Um, yeah, I think 2022. Yeah, so everything from then until that day where I got the fine, everything got compiled, and I was hit with a $75,000 tax. Yeah, so I was supposed to pay that in about a few months, I think 2, 3 months, and I wasn't able to take out a payment plan for it because of the visa, and it was tough. So I consulted some people to help me out and all that. It was a whole thing. Not a very, very good time. Yeah, that was in 2025, in the middle of my placements. No, sorry, 2024, in the middle of my placements. And eventually, okay, it all got sorted. My mom, thank God, my mom came to help me out, bail me out, essentially paid off everything, and now I'm I'm free of that. I'm still paying a few things, under the new business, of course, under the business name, but now, yeah, everything is settled. So yeah, so essentially that's like the big story essentially for how it failed. After that, I kind of be like, you know what, it's not worth it. Not gonna do it again. Not gonna continue it. Not worth my time. Yeah, so I kind of just stopped. That's how Brokemon eventually failed. Even though I put so much effort into it, it just kind of died out because of two very big events, I guess. Yeah, and there were many, many small events that kind of led up to it. And yeah, in hindsight, it was not the best thing to do. The business plan was not good. I was not good with the finances. I was not good with the business. I was not putting in the effort and the time. And there were a lot of things that needed sorting out, which I didn't actually put in the effort for. Yeah, so that caused the failure. But yeah, at the moment, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, yeah, I kind of put out a post saying that, yeah, you know what, I'll come back, and I'll try it out and do it again, because I'm currently in this kind of position where I am sort of stuck in a hospital, with a sort of $250,000 debt. It wasn't be I guess it's a debt, because I cannot actually leave this place, unless I pay that amount. And my eventual goal definitely is to migrate to Australia, because of, like, it's a much better work-life balance. But yeah, so I'm sort of stuck here, and I was doing a lot of thinking, on how I can actually get out and actually start something in Australia. And the eventual kind of conclusion I came to was starting this business again. So there were a lot of lessons learned. There are a lot of things that I need to do. I do have a lot of plans, like I was literally like, this is all rough paper, like the steps that everything in here. I was actually planning everything out, and this is not just for the video itself. It's like, from the start, like okay, so like, what am I looking for in my life, and then how can I get there? What's the most value? And I eventually come up to, the business, how I can actually make money, how the business should work, how the taxes should work, and all that stuff. So everything is kind of planned out. I do need to continue planning, do need to kind of tighten up a lot of different things. But yeah, essentially, this is how it sort of failed. Yeah, not sort of, but actually failed. And then now I'm trying to restart it. So this video is basically documenting um, how and why it happened and how I'm going to come back from it. So maybe I can just look down the road, the future, and just see, how it's going. Am I actually fulfilling my goals? Kind of hitting my goals at all? Maybe 1 year, 2 years down the line, seeing whether I'm out of here already or am I still stuck here. But I'm pretty sure I will still be here. But yeah, we'll see. So the plans for the future. Definitely gonna start very very slow. Okay, like I said in the post on the Facebook group, I'm gonna bring in a lot more Pokemon things instead of other things. I'm gonna start to sell a lot of different things to build capital, and then work from there. So far, I do have quite a few orders already. Thank you to those who have ordered. I'm actually sorting things out, and they are actually being delivered over. So yeah, especially for those who ordered last week when there was a holiday in Japan. Um, yeah, so things are being shipped out from Japan today. So expect them to come in about 2-3 days time. What day is it today? Today is the 23rd of March. So yeah, by then it should be in. Yeah, other than that, I don't have much else to add. I will definitely do another video on how I am actually going to be pricing things and how I am going to be selling them. Some of you have had questions on, how the spreadsheet works and all that. I'm actually just taking orders on the spreadsheet itself. So yeah, look forward to that video. I will definitely keep that updated. Probably do another video in a few days' time, seeing how things goes. If I'm not that busy, then I will definitely do it. But yeah, for now, that's all. Thank you for listening. If you listen all the way here. All right, see you.